It's a working man I am, and I bent down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind, I never again will go down underground.
On Saturday the 11th of September, and in honour of the hundreds of men and boys who lost their lives working in the Burnley coalfield, a new memorial to the Burnley miners was unveiled.
In March 2018, a local author, historian and Jack Nathan put a post on Facebook asking for anyone who could help him realise the dream of building a permanent memorial in Burnley for the miners. And 8 people, without hesitation, filled his inbox. Those people were Donna Madden, Elsie Manning, Lillian Stanton, Sue Hawkins, Phil Glover, Richard Sims, Russell Bethwaite, and myself, Brian Sisson. A committee of the above was formed in 2018, and a GoFundMe page was set up. To the committee's amazement, this fund was being absolutely rocked within hours of it being put up on the Facebook. Money was flowing in, and not only that, a musical group called the Badger Set, comprising of myself, Pete Yates and Graham Rendell, organised a 60th concert at Burnley Miners Club, which had raised quite a bit of money. We also contributed on behalf of the committee. I would like to thank all the people from the bottom of my heart or our hearts. Jack painstakingly researched all the names and ages and placed on the memorial. The youngest being James Robinson, just 8 years old, who died down the pits. The oldest was 84. So people are thinking of working until 70 these days. That's going to take some beating. I must mention at this particular point in time that this wall is nothing, it's not going to detract from the Alton Valley Memorial at all. This is to complement it. The names are also on here, as well as on the memorial in Hapton. I, on behalf of the committee, would like to pay a very special tribute to Madam Secretary, Donna Madden, who pulled many strings when there was only threads to grab, and use of a magic wand through the pandemic to get to where we are today. So thank you very much indeed, Donna. You are one amazing lady. Thank you. And a very big thank you goes out to the following people, other than the committee that helped with this project. Alan Lloyd Griffiths, JP, Dennis Ward, Lawrence Hawkins, who's the husband of long-suffering Sue, and the Burnley Miners Workmen's Club Committee, and members to use for the use of their concert rooms for our exhibitions and the Badger Set concert. All our new friends and local businesses, Unite Union, Burnley Trades Council for the kind donations, and not forgetting the supporting of our fundraising events with donations, prizes and contributions to the GoFundMe page, and that includes the ordinary but generous people of East Lancashire. So without further ado, I would like to invite Councillor of Burnley, Charlie Briggs, to conduct us through the next part of the unveiling ceremony. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to invite the Worshipful Mayor of Burnley, Councillor Mark Townsend, and the Lady Mayoress of Burnley, Kerry, to come and put the ribbon for us, please, if you don't mind, and also invite the MP of Burnley to come and help us with the cutting. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just say how wonderful it is to see so many people here this morning. I'm absolutely delighted to be here, not just as mayor, but I'm doubly delighted because I am a former miner myself. I did 8 years in the mines, 2 years at Hapton Valley Colliery, and then 6 years at Parkside Colliery near St Helens. So it means a heck of a lot to me personally to see the work that has gone on by the committee to bring this wall to fruition. Congratulations to Jack, to Donna, to the fundraising team to have done the work that they've done in such a short space of time through the pandemic, and to place this memorial in such an iconic place in Burnley, where so many people, as we can see the names on this memorial, sacrificed everything to get coal out of the ground, that made Burnley really what it is today, the foundations and the bedrock of what this town became and what it is today. So it's with great delight that I'm here today, and congratulations to everybody involved, and thank you for coming along this morning. I'd just say how delighted I am to be the one unveiling this memorial here in Burnley today. Thank you.
I asked Brian Sisson, one of the committee members, where the idea for a Burnley Miners Memorial came from.
That came from a gentleman called Jack Nadin, who you will see very, very shortly. His dream was to see a permanent memorial for all the people that died extracting coal from beneath the Burnley area, which quite a few, 300 and odd people died extracting coal, the youngest being just 8 and the oldest being 84. So he put a call out on Facebook if there's anybody out there that could help him raise money to build this particular wall behind me. And 8 people applied without hesitation, and we knocked his heads together, formed a committee, and fundraising and everything like that as a result to do what we see today.
For that, I'd just like to invite the local MP for Burnley to come and say a few words if you would like. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor, Lady Mayoress, Councillor Briggs, Committee, ladies and gentlemen. As the Mayor said, Burnley is built on mining and miners, and I think having this memorial here in the town centre so that everyone who comes, whether they come through the bus station or through our thoroughfares, sees the heritage we've got locally and the importance we attach to that heritage. And so to the committee, to all of the donors who helped make this possible, and to the council who facilitated it, I just want to say an enormous thank you, because this matters not just for the miners but for the future too, where we want our young people to understand what our borough is built on. The foundations that we stand on literally are the miners beneath us. So to everyone, I would just like to say an enormous thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to a few people. Mr Lee Hunt, the local memento mason, for engraving the tablets on the memorial wall. John Craig of RGS Sheet Metal, who created the template for the wall artwork. Builder Chris Shaw of Royton near Oldham for building the stonework. Simon Goff and Mike Townend of Burnley Open Spaces for guiding the committee through the legal process involved. Burnley Borough Council for the gift of the site, and all the councillors who supported us from the start. Karen Morville at the Planning Department and the staff for all their help in processing the planning application involved. And finally, Northern Mine Research Society for providing the information board on the site. Thank you very much indeed.
Father Robert Parker from St Catherine's Church in Burnley said a few words and blessed the memorial.
May I just give apologies on behalf of the Bishop. He's otherwise engaged today, so sadly he sent me along instead. I was struck when we were listening to the speeches earlier. One of the names on here is of a young lad who was only 8 years old. And we remember all these names, that they were someone's brother, son, uncle, etc. All these men who made this town what it is today. So we'll just bow our heads in prayer. Almighty God and Father, it is our certain faith that your Son who died on the cross was raised from the dead, the first fruits of all who've fallen asleep. Grant through the mystery of your servants for whom this miners' memorial is dedicated, and all who've gone to their rest in Christ, that we may share in the joy of his resurrection, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen. Now for once it isn't raining in East Lancashire, so I'm going to sprinkle the memorial with holy water. O God, by whose mercy the faith of the departed find rest, bless this memorial which we mark as the service of our mining brothers. May it be a symbol of their hard work, dedication and self-sacrifice over many generations, and may they have everlasting life and rejoice with you and all your saints forever. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, that light perpetual shine upon them. May they rest in peace. Amen.
Could I ask everyone, please, just to give a minute's silence in memory for all the people on this wall, and in fact everyone who's died through the mining industry, whether it be through accidents or death from the effects of mining coal. Just 1 minute of silence, please. Thank you. Donna Madden, who has guided the committee through hell and high water. Through the pandemic, she's been able to pull strings here, there, everywhere. And I would like to invite Donna on stage to give a few words. Thank you, Donna.
So just one final thank you. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the committee to all our distinguished guests, the Mayor, the Mayoress, Councillor Charlotte Briggs, MP Anthony Higginbottom, Father Roger and everybody who's attended today to celebrate the official dedication of Miners Memorial. We'd like to take this opportunity to invite you all to raise a glass to those no longer with us at the Benedictine Miners on Plum Street. Thank you for attending. I've got some music on now for you to listen to.
Donna Madden is the Miners' Memorial Secretary. I asked Donna how the group managed to raise the funds and come up with the final design.
So I'm the secretary of the committee, so I contacted people to get funding. We were all part of the design, so we all got regular meetings with design. We all threw lots of ideas at each other. I think we went from probably about 50 different designs and then came up with this because it was very simple and what we wanted. Jack had done all the research of the names, and Lee Hunt kindly then did all the engraving for us on the panels. We managed to get a builder, went through all the building regulations that we had to do because we have to have the same stone as all the other buildings in the area. So we have ashlar stone, so it was sourcing that, having to wait for that to be cut for us, and then COVID hit us as you can imagine, so we were a little bit delayed there. But then we managed to get it all up and running, and finally today is the culmination of all that work.
Right, thank you very much indeed for appearing, everyone. I was overwhelmed to the amount of people that's shown up this morning. Would you like all to join us at the Miners Social Club on Plum Street, where I think we've got pine peas or something like that. No, we can't afford pine peas. So anyway, if you'd like to join us at the Miners Club on Plum Street. If you don't know where it is, just ask anybody in Burnley. I want Benny, and they will point you straight to the place. So, thank you once again, everyone, for coming. I'd like to thank all the dignitaries and yourselves, of course. And please, don't forget these people here. Thank you very much indeed. See you all later. Bye-bye.
I asked former miner and local author Jack Nadin about some of the names inscribed on the memorial.
The youngest lad is an 8-year-old lad. He's 8-year-old. He shouldn't have been down the pit. I think he was employed on the surface, but curiosity must have got the better of him. I think he sneaked down, and we think he was in collision with some tubs, gold tubs. He was brought up in internal bleeding and he died in a few hours.
How many names are there actually on the memorial?
On the memorial wall itself there's 328, but I have another at least 60. And I'm going to put them all in a book and give them to the library.
You've been publisher before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a few, yeah. Mining history and local history.
How many pits were there in Burnley at one time?
On one of my first books, which I researched East Lancashire, it was about 180.
Was there really?
Not at the same time, but different times. Yeah. But in Burnley itself, the main ones were Banco, Lapton Valley, Reedley, maybe 10. When it was nationalised, probably about 17. They've all gone now, of course.
And there was a very bad disaster in 1962. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Lapton Valley, yeah. 19 men got killed there. 17 initially and 2 died later on. Youngest were 16, I think. I started work 2 years after, 16-year-old, and put in the same tunnel, working in the same tunnel. A bit scary for a 16-year-old. Yeah, but this memorial isn't anything to do with the Lapton Valley, it's part of it, it's an addition. They have their own special memorial, and I think they'll keep visiting annual services there.
He will gently lead you by the heart through the dark recess of the mines. He will take you back in time and tell you of the hardships that were had. It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will